Welcome to the Sports Reverends podcast. My name's Dan. I'm with my co-host Drew, and we're just a couple of guys who are sports enthusiasts and are reverends as well. We couldn't cut it on the court, the ice, the gridiron, or the mound, and we're definitely not experts, but we are the Sports Reverends.
And I'm Drew. What's up, Dan?
Not too much, buddy. I'm stoked for this.
Me too. I'm excited that we finally get to record this and get it out to the world. But we're going to start with some basketball. Is that good?
I love basketball, so yes.
I know you love basketball. And we're going to start with Game 5 of Toronto and Golden State. For those of you who didn't watch, I don't know anyone that didn't. But if you didn't watch, the Warriors jumped out to the quick lead. And then the devastating injury, Durant went down with a torn Achilles, and they held that lead. They were up as much as 14. But then in the fourth, that bad man, Kawhi Leonard, came back, went on a run to give the Raptors a lead by 6. But then devastating. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson hitting threes. But I have a question for you as the series flips back to Golden State. I'm wondering, what's your opinion on where the momentum stands right now? Is it still on Toronto's side, or has it swung over to the Warriors?
Hold on a second. Before I answer that question, if you didn't watch the Raptors game, the finals, Raptors Golden State, there's 6.5 million viewers for that game. The most viewed thing in Canada this year. So, give your head a shake.
You're probably not listening to this podcast.
Yeah, probably not. Be a Canadian. It's Canada's team.
Yep.
Turn it on.
I hear.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
You hear me? All right.
I got you.
I'm going to tell you an opinion that's probably not popular, but I think the momentum is still with the Raptors. A couple of reasons why. First and foremost, going back to Oracle, this is for sure the final game in that Oracle arena, where is iconic. Their championships were there. Their whole dynasty was there. All the history is there. Their blood, sweat, and tears are on that floor, and that's going to bring a whole level of emotions, a whole level of anticipation and excitement as their last game, but an overwhelming amount of pressure as well. It is actually the most. I just read this actually. The most expensive game. The ticket prices on average are the most expensive ever for this game on Thursday at Oracle. The pressure is intensified, and it's heightened, and it's gonna be pretty intense that way. On top of that, the Warriors came into this last game. They walked in with their big brother Kevin Durant, right? He took away any kind of double team of Steph and Klay. They felt like re-energized. You could see it. They were shooting threes, like not just any like open threes. They were shooting contested threes, and they were money from behind the arc. They're losing that. They're not walking in with big brother Kevin Durant anymore. It's back. All the pressure on Steph, all this double team on Klay, and Raptors are longer, bigger. They're missing Kawhi Looney on the Warriors. I'm saying Raptors in 6. I think that's fitting. Raps in 6.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm actually taking the opposite take of you, though, because I think the fact that it is the last game in Oracle is going to give the Warriors motivation to win. They had just an amazing night shooting the ball, 20 3-pointers, 20 of 42, 48% from 3. Just an amazing night. I think Steph and Klay have started to feel the touch, and I think they pull it out in Game 6. They've moved the ball a lot better with Durant off the floor. They swept Portland, they were a good team, Portland, and they swept them without KD ever stepping on the floor. And I just have a feeling that it's going to be Raptors in 7. I really hope that you're right, actually. But that's my feeling.
I think they definitely do move the ball better, but that's because when you pass the ball around and it gets to Kevin Durant, that's almost like an automatic bucket, right? Like they have to move the ball.
It's unstoppable.
Better, right? Exactly. So they have to move the ball better, and it's still I still gotta say Raps in 6, man. I don't know. the Raptors defense is that no one's talking about defense anymore. I've always grown up on defense wins championships, and I think that's showing again. The Raptors defense is showing out their length. They're big. They're athletic.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Is
don't discount the Warriors defense either. Like they've got Draymond Green, Iguodala, Klay Thompson's lockdown defender as well. But not that I'm not defending the war. Like I'm still cheering for the Raptors, but I'm just you got to be careful.
I've
It's a
been
good defensive team over there too.
I've been saying this all year long. Um, this Warriors defense isn't the same as like the years have passed. Actually, all of the West, um, I don't know if there's a team that defends like really well. The best defensive teams are all in the East: Boston, Toronto, Milwaukee, Philly. And it's actually when I was watching the Western Conference semis, Houston and Golden State, is like, oh my goodness, like there is zero defense being played. All there is jacked up trays or open layups, and I'm like, what is going on here? If you see that I was watching it like back to back, right, Philly and Toronto, and you just see the swarming defense in one game, and the other one's just like fast pace and tray balls. So I don't know, man. The Warriors actually, they are. I think they're out of the 16 playoff teams, they're like 11th ranked in defensive efficiency. The Raptors are second. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah, but you see the championship caliber come out like in big moments. They know how to step it up. Like Draymond's been playing like I think he's been playing really good defense, but
he's been playing like an all-star in the playoffs for sure.
yeah,
He
yeah,
dropped
for sure.
25 pounds, eh? You can see like he's active. He's a beast.
Yeah.
But
Anyways, why
yeah,
don't we move on? I think we agree though the Raptors are taking the series, so we can all
yeah,
celebrate
for
about
sure.
that. But on the Raptors, this is something we definitely disagree on, so this will be a little more fun. Uh, our hot take of the week on our Facebook page. Do you think that Kawhi has separated himself at this point as the best player in the league? And I think
All
I'm
right,
going
you
to
spit
take
it
the
out first, Drew. Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to take it because I know it's the most controversial because you know people are forgetting things when people get hurt that they still exist and they're still basketball players. But we have LeBron James, possibly one of the greatest players who ever lived, who basically missed the last third of the season. Was it last half, last third? He's out. Kevin Durant's been out basically the whole last half of the playoffs, who I believe is the best player in the league right now. Um, like you could even see it in Game 5. Like Kevin Durant only on the floor for 12 minutes, gets 11 points, 3 of 3 from three, unstoppable because he's 7 feet tall. He can just shoot over anyone he wants. He's long on defense. Um, and my biggest problem with crowning Kawhi as the best player in the league is that he can't play a full season. He's brittle. He breaks down. He takes 20 games off, and I just want to see my best players in every game. That's just my opinion.
Oh, you're killing me, Drew. You're bringing up LBJ. Missed. Yeah, I think we can both agree on for sure. Lakers make the playoffs if LBJ is healthy,
Oh,
even if
for
he only
sure.
misses.
They're definitely trending in that direction.
Yeah, I think he missed 19 games in total. They make the playoffs, so they're probably second or third best. Even if their record doesn't reflect it, I'd say they're second or third best in the West.
Mm.
Um, and but my knock on LBJ is I think he's so this is pretty big of me to say I think because I've been a certified LeBron hater, and but he was at the top for sure. I think not last year, the year before last year is when he was dethroned by Kevin Durant. Okay.
Mm. Yep.
I think what separates Kevin Durant and LeBron is LeBron, especially this last year it came out, he just stopped playing defense. Honestly, his defensive efficiency is horrendous. His PER has dropped because of it. And that's why I'm taking LeBron out of the king conversation
Well, we're not
because
talking about that, Dan.
top.
We're talking. I
And
said
I'm getting to it. I'm
we're
getting
talking
to
about
it.
Kawhi and KD.
You said
Okay.
LeBron first, actually.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. I'm
So
just saying. I'm just saying. Get on with
okay.
it.
Let me get on with it. Okay. So we talked down LBJ. Now we're talking about Durant. So I said Durant took LeBron's spot. Um, I'm saying Kawhi is that it is a greater debate with Kawhi and Durant for sure. I lean towards Kawhi because Durant has a superstar all-star roster with him. Kawhi's facing. Just look at how Golden State's defending Kawhi. He's double teamed, and behind the double team is a layer of defense as well. They can't do that with Durant. Durant doesn't face his. If he does face a double team, then a wide open three for Steph or a wide open three for Clay. You have to one-on-one coverage them and kind of help defense, or else they're going to get easy buckets. So that's what I'm saying. Durant's numbers may be inflated. I would love to see him. I think he can get there. I think he might already be there, but he hasn't proven it on his own. If we look at when Durant was with Westbrook against the Warriors, they lost, right?
Yeah,
If you
up 3-1, but they were up
they
3-1. They had them up
yeah,
against the wall.
and they choked, right? He needed that 73 win team to take the next
Well,
step.
yeah, we can talk about Westbrook another day, but I'd put that more on Westbrook than KD, but that's
That's
another topic for another day.
okay. Okay. I'm just saying. I'm like I've been saying. I think defense wins championships. I think Kevin Durant's a greater offensive player, and Kawhi's a bit greater defensive player. And I'm going with Kawhi because um, he's led his own team. And they weren't expected to do this great, and he took them to next level. And you see the level of stardom that he did that last quarter. He looked like MJ in that last quarter. It was pretty amazing. But
That's pretty bold. That's pretty bold.
you don't think he did in the fourth quarter, where he had the 10-point run?
Well, I'm a little younger than you and maybe didn't see MJ, but Kawhi, I like Kawhi. I like the Raptors. I think he's great. Um, but I just can't see him as one of the best players when you have to monitor his minutes, you have to monitor his games. Uh, it, that's not MJ. That's
True.
that's not that's not what the great players do.
Just like yeah, I guess MJ had his one injury that took him out for a season. This is actually Durant's second major injury, eh? So I don't know how he's gonna return as well. Achilles, we're expecting a torn Achilles.
Yeah,
There's only been one player that's returned from a torn Achilles that's been close to as good, and that's way before your time, which is Dominique. Um, but that's like, I don't know. The torn Achilles, that's tough. He's gonna be a different player, I think, when he's back.
yeah. Well, we move on here.
Yeah, what's next?
Well, this question was going to be more interesting before the injury happened yesterday, but where do we think KD lands this summer?
Yeah, that's a tough one too. Um, man, the game five is just the making of a NBA classic. The anticipation of KD's return, seeing him dunking in the warm up, seeing him light it up in first quarter, hit what 3 3-pointers. Oh man, it was going to be an NBA classic, and then
Yeah,
boom, this injury happens, totally deflated the whole arena. Honestly, the whole everyone watching is deflating to watch. But it's hard to say. I think KD hasn't made up his mind. I think the Warriors would be smart if they made him decline his player option of $31 million, which would be guaranteed. Decline it and give him a max, give him a super max. And this is the first time the Warriors actually, no, this is the first time KD needs the Warriors. I think like KD came in and he's been the savior for the Warriors. Um,
yeah,
Now the Warriors should pay him back. I think, so. I think he stays super max, most money.
yeah. And you think they sign Clay too then?
Yeah, I think they
On
sign them
top
all
of
back. They keep the core.
They're going to be spending a lot of money then.
Yeah, luxury tax is going to be through the roof, but it's worth it, right? They're going to be
Yeah.
contention.
Yeah, like I said, I'd love to see if Kawhi goes to the Clippers. I'd love to see him team up with Kawhi in LA.
Oh, that'd be dirty.
There was big talks about the Knicks, but I just can't see him going from great ownership, general manager, coach to the mess that is James
The
Dolan and the
worst.
Knicks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. The worst
yeah,
GM.
yeah. So yeah, I think I agree with you. I don't think there's much question that he stays in Golden State for next year.
So you think he's going to sign just a 1 year?
Well, I honestly think he might opt in. Like he's been taking pay cuts,
Yeah.
and obviously it's not about the money for KD. So he might, to see another ring on his finger, just opt in for the 1 year and see where that goes. Let's move to what's going on next week. We got the draft coming up.
Oh man.
It seems like Zion's already been drafted to the Pelicans, but
Yeah.
you wanna take this? I assume you think Zion going number one.
Yeah, I think for sure. I think with the draft, the biggest question is where does Anthony Davis go?
Right. Yeah.
I think Anthony Davis now becomes the cream of the crop here at the top of the free agent list or top of the most wanted list. And I know he said the Knicks and the Lakers are his number one destinations. Knicks could give him RJ Barrett or the number 3, which I'm assuming is RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
Lakers could give him number 4 and some better pieces. I
But
think
there's not
if you're the
much
Knicks,
there's not much in this draft outside of the top three though. Like
yeah, I agree with that. It's not that I think there's pieces that are good, but there's no what am I trying to say here? There's no like franchise changing players
yeah.
outside the top 3. I don't
Yeah.
know if outside Zion, but for sure. Well, you know what? I can't. I take that back. Outside the top 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think if you're the Knicks or Lakers, you do whatever you can to get Anthony Davis. They're in desperation mode. So
Yeah. I thought we'd do something. I thought we'd do something fun here and just go back and forth here,
okay,
and put together some trade packages.
I like it.
What possibly could we see going back and forth for Anthony Davis? I'm looking at the Knicks here, and I'm thinking it's a no-brainer on the Pelicans side. Now we
Okay,
can talk about the Knicks side on the other end of things, but I was thinking, the Knicks have the number 3 overall pick, which we're both assuming is RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett played with Zion.
okay,
I think that would be pretty cool to see.
yeah,
They got Dennis Smith Jr., who's a bit of a head case, but there's some talent there. And then
athletic,
super athletic.
yeah,
And then I was thinking Kevin Knox or Mitchell Robinson, and again you can throw in extra picks if you want to come down the road for Anthony Davis. And I was thinking this is a no-brainer for the Pelicans because I'm looking at this lineup now. You still got Drew Holiday locked in. You still got
yeah,
Julius Randle,
mm-hmm.
who looked real good last year. Even Okafor had a good year
Had
when
decent year, yeah.
when Anthony Davis was out, he stepped up. So
He's
you got
reliable for sure.
oh for sure. So you got Holiday, Barrett. If you got Kevin Knox in there, Zion, put Julius Randle at the 5, and I think then you got a pretty good bench coming with Dennis Smith Jr. and Okafor off the bench.
Yeah, it's not bad for sure. It's not bad for sure.
But I don't know. I'll say this: I don't know how the Knicks feel about that because you're gonna have to get someone else in free agency for sure, because that just takes out everyone on your team.
Yeah, exactly. You have to sign a whole team basically. Well, he's got DeAndre Jordan. You know.
His contract's up, isn't he?
Oh, is he? I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's a free agent.
Is he? He's a free agent. Okay, well then, yeah, it's literally giving him the whole team.
Yeah.
But that's probably a good thing because the Knicks, they're not really even worthwhile right now. Like,
Yeah.
Knicks, yeah. If if the Pelicans take that, then obviously go for it. I just think it's more intriguing from I think the Lakers pieces are just better. Um, can you see Lonzo, Kuzma, Ingram, and the fourth? I would definitely do that. But I think the Lakers are trying to get a combination of Lonzo, Kuzma, or Ingram, just two of them, and then the
Yeah.
fourth. So imagine if you have, even if it's Lonzo and Kuzma, okay?
Yeah.
Like that's a disgusting lineup for the Pelicans and the whatever there are picks for there are good role player picks, 3-and-D guys in the draft this year. So
Right.
you find a good 3-and-D big I don't know who, but I think Cam Reddish is too high at the 4, but uh, that lineup right there, Drew Holiday, Lonzo, I think they could play off each other really well. Then you got Kuzma, Zion, Julius Randle. It's basically the New Orleans Lakers. But I think the Lakers are in this position of power that people aren't talking about. They have LeBron James. They have this great young core. I think people underestimate Lonzo. Um,
Yeah. He
and
looked good. He looked good this year
yeah, he's
when he
just got to
was
get
healthy.
healthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Kuzma and Ingram there, and like Ingram took a big step forward this year too. Um, I think, but
There's some
yeah, I
health
think
problems though too.
yeah, for sure. So
Or were you
I
talking
would
about Kuzma?
say, yeah, no, I was talking about Ingram. I think Kuzma's been great from the start. I was saying Ingram
Yeah.
took a good step forward
Yeah.
in his like level of play. So if I'm the Pelicans, I'm taking the Lakers trade. I'd say
Yeah.
but like you don't want to have Anthony Davis in the same conference, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's that factor too. Let me throw it out. What do you think about Brooklyn making a trade for Davis?
Yeah. I don't understand this whole movement towards Brooklyn. Um, I I I don't know.
Biggie
They just
Smalls? Come
yeah.
on.
I don't know. But
Hove?
yeah. I don't know. They had a good year. They were exciting to watch with Russell really stepping up this year. But
Yeah.
yeah, you know, do they have the package to put together? I don't know. Do they have
So
the pieces?
the report I saw was they want an all-star, uh, either a pick or like an up-and-coming player, and then a complementary player as well. That's what the Pelicans want. So that's asking a lot for an injured Anthony Davis, in my opinion,
Yeah.
who's not like the level of Kawhi, where some GMs might try to take a rental year on him, and see if they can court him. But I don't know, man. Brooklyn, I think, might be nice because if they trade for him, then they still have the two spots to sign stars.
Right.
So
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking the Pelicans have just shot themselves in the foot by taking this long.
yeah, for
Because
sure.
the reports are that the Lakers offered them Lonzo, Kuzma, Ingram, and 2 first-round picks uh,
Yeah, well,
at the trade deadline,
yeah,
and they're not going to get anywhere near that now.
yeah, not even close. So
So
definitely
I think it worked out for the Lakers.
big time. If they can get him for, are you the Lakers? Do you pull the trigger? Do you pull that trigger?
Yeah,
Aging LeBron?
I don't think so. I'm with you. I like their young core. I think
Yeah,
Lonzo is undervalued, underrated at this point. I think he's looked real good when he's healthy.
and he's a good
Um,
defender too.
yeah,
Like,
super long. He's a 6'6" point guard. Like
yeah,
he's long. He's
he's got to
athletic,
work on his
super
shot.
athletic. He started finishing at the rim,
Yeah,
and yeah, I think him and LeBron will play off each other real well. He'll need to work on his shooting. LeBron plays. He needs shooters around him.
yeah. Maybe
Um,
that's what the Lakers should try to like. The Lakers should try to just instead of trading their core, try to sign like Jimmy Butler. That'd be
yeah,
a perfect compliment to LeBron.
yeah. Jimmy Butler, good defender, hits threes. Yeah, that's a good idea there too. So, have we had enough basketball today?
Never.
Let's move
I
on.
guess.
I
Yeah.
there's some exciting hockey game going on tomorrow night, and we got Game 7 between the
Everybody loves
Bruins.
Game 7.
Everyone loves a Game 7. I might actually watch this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got the Boston Bruins and the St. Louis Blues, who have never won a championship.
Yeah.
Boston has won too many championships, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The city as a whole. But how are we feeling? Have you been following it at all?
Yeah. Yeah. I think Boston, they have the home ice. They have the better team, I think.
More experience
Uh,
for sure.
Definitely more experience. But I think the difference maker is this rookie goaltender for the St. Louis Blues
Yeah,
who
Bennington.
stood on his head. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's the one who took out the Jets. He took out the
Yeah.
Stars.
You're still sour. Yeah.
I'm definitely sour. And I'm just so sick of Boston too. Like the bias is like ridiculous because if they win this year, the Stanley Cup, they're the first city to win 3 major sports leagues in 1 year. So
Yeah. And we're all sick of the Patriots too. So
definitely.
yeah.
So go Blues, go Biddington, give them the Conn Smythe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
Even though they got home ice, going to
Yeah.
Biddington.
I think there's too much there's too much experience on Boston's side. That first line for Boston has been just so
Dead.
good the whole playoffs. Rask has stood on his head for most of the playoffs as well. I think they pull it out. Yeah, as much as Boston knocked out my Leafs, so we're both pretty bitter about this finals.
They always knock out the Leafs though. Like you
Yeah,
can,
we saw that coming a long way.
yeah,
But to be honest, like we both love like Canadian teams, but I think
yeah,
that's the problem this year. Like we talk about viewership in the NBA finals has been a big topic in the States, but I think it's a big topic here in Canada as well. Like we haven't seen Canadian teams in the finals in a long time,
too long.
and yeah, and I was looking at some viewership numbers, and the most watched non-Olympic related broadcast like of anything is still Game 7 of 2011 Stanley Cup Finals between Vancouver and Boston. And I just think it's hard for us as fans of Canadian teams to be truly interested in watching teams that honestly we don't care that much about.
Yeah, even though 65% of the players are all Canadian, it's still hard to watch.
Yeah,
It's true. I think the the Canadian viewership of the NBA, like get this, the Canadian viewership of the NBA is almost triple Stanley Cup
that's
Finals.
that's almost unbelievable, but
Yeah,
I'll take your word on that.
it's 6.5 million for the NBA, and I think it's 2.7, 2.5 maybe for the Stanley Cup, just Canada.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah, and we've seen some bad reffing in
Oh my
in these
goodness.
playoffs.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know, like it was a big deal in this in the Boston game, the no call
yeah,
on
Game
on the
5.
obvious trip. Um, Even though Boston does need to just keep playing,
Yeah, play to the whistle.
you see them all just stand still.
Stop. Yeah,
But
like
but yeah,
puppet.
it hasn't just been that. There's the hand pass in the San Jose St. Louis series.
Right.
There's the offside call in the San Jose Colorado, and then there was also a major penalty called on Cody Eakin, which probably shouldn't even have been a penalty, which led to a big comeback. Yeah, I just don't know. I wouldn't want to be a ref. I ref beer league hockey sometimes, and it's no fun. They yell at me, but I think the NHL really needs to look into doing something about this, expanding the replay or
Do you think
having.
so? The
Let's
NBA
go.
does a last 2-minute report, for every game now. Do you
Okay.
think NHL needs to adapt something like that, where um, the referees take a look at a certain part of the game, maybe the same kind of deal, right? The last 2 minutes of every game, and critique themselves so that they can get better as well.
Yeah.
With the NBA's done it, and it's led to just a lot of fans hating on the refs. I don't know how much they've gotten any better, but what do you think?
Yeah. It sounds good in theory. I just, like you said, it doesn't change the outcome of the game. So the fans are still upset. The players are upset. Like even
Yeah,
if the ref came out and admitted like I should have called a penalty on that and that goal shouldn't have happened. Like how does that help anybody?
yeah.
I just think we need to, and I don't even really have a solution. So I don't know what we're
There's
supposed
a
to do with
lot.
that.
They
But
they have a bunch of referees on the ice too, right? They have
yeah,
linesmen.
yeah, and they've
And the
talked
ref
about
was literally that game 5 call. That's the one that sticks out to me the most, right?
yeah, yeah,
The ref was right there. How does he not make
yeah.
that
He's
call?
standing right. Yeah, I just don't understand how you don't call a penalty there.
Yeah.
And
So you
yeah,
got Boston in 7.
I got Boston in 7. I got
Doesn't matter the
Boston
refing.
pulling off. Doesn't matter. I got them pulling off this historic year. I guess we can give Boston this year of
The year of
winning all the
Boston.
championships.
Yeah, it's disgusts me.
But we can move towards to baseball. To
Yeah.
baseball here. Talk some Blue Jays. They're pretty sad to watch right now. Uh, but I was wondering. I follow baseball quite closely, but I don't know what we should do with all these veterans we have. We got Stroman, we got Sanchez, Smoke. Um, in my opinion, I think anyone who's a veteran and playing well, I think they should just be traded.
Yeah. I think you're
Just
right,
load
Drew.
up, just load up on as many prospects as you can get.
This is the rebuilding time, right? We
Yeah,
gotta you gotta go. You can't go half in the rebuild. You gotta go full rebuild. So
yeah, yeah. Well, this is the repercussions of the David Price deal a couple years
right.
ago, where we gave away every prospect we had
Yeah.
uh, to get David Price for a couple months, and yeah, and that's why
And Hinder.
this new management came in and voiced their displeasure with all these moves, and this is why. But we do have some hope for the future.
Yeah. Laddie.
We got Vladdy, we got Bichette coming up. Biggio's look
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Danny Jansen, Gurriel. We got some pitching coming up. Um,
What about
yeah,
Freddie?
I
Do you like
think
Freddie?
Freddie Galvis.
Yeah.
He's old. He's like 29.
Oh, we don't.
He's
29's too old now.
Yeah, you're too old. I'm sorry, Dan, but you're not going to be playing in the big leagues. But
I gotta retire. Gotta put the game away.
no, but yeah, he's been I love Freddie. Like I follow the
It's been
Phillies.
nice.
He was a Philly for a few years, and I've always liked him. Plays good defense, switch hitter. I think he's been a stable veteran. Doesn't cost too much money. Um, but I think he also could be a really good trade piece at the deadline to bring in a prospect. We need some pitching. We need some
Definitely
outfielders.
pitching. Yeah.
Yeah,
So with that being said, how many years away, if they make the moves that you're wanting, the Blue Jays,
yeah.
how many years away are the Blue Jays from being in contention?
Oh, yeah. We're still 4 5 years. Like we still got quite a ways to go. Like Vladdy's what 20? Like is he even 20 yet? Like
Yeah. No,
and he's he's like the oldest. We still
it's
got
crazy. That's
um,
crazy.
yeah. Like so I we've got some developing to do. It's going to be sad to see guys like Stroman and Sanchez and Smoke go.
Smoke, man. Oh man.
Yeah, Smoke's been so good. He's really lived up to finally his prospect status that he had when he was younger. But um, Stroman's been so solid. I always compare him to like Kyle Lowry from the Raptors, just all heart. He
I like
wears it
it.
on his sleeve, and but I think he'll be a great trade piece. I just don't want to trade him to the Yankees. That's my one
Yeah.
wish. It's my one wish. Don't trade him to the Yankees or the Red
Or
Sox.
Boston. Yeah,
Yeah,
forget them.
like I'd love to see him win. Like trade him to like Atlanta or something.
Yeah.
A team that hasn't won in a while. Like that's my only wish for that. Do you like watching baseball?
I do. It's one of my favorites. Saturday and Sunday. I love watching afternoon games and
Yeah,
just
it's relaxing.
it's great. Very relaxing. I was
Yeah.
gonna say the one bright spot about the Jays having just prospects playing and losing a lot of games is that tickets for the Jays games are about $1 as resale tickets.
Yeah.
And what they started in every floor of Jays Stadium is they have a $5 stand that everything's $5 or less, and
Wow.
you can get a hot dog for I think $2. So
Wow, that's amazing.
ice
I'll
cream
have to
for a
make
buck.
I'll
Yeah,
have to make a trip out.
at least they're trying to take care of the fans in some sort of way because it's gonna
Well,
be
yeah.
a 5-year process. I like that. I think you're exactly right.
Well, we're still getting more fans than Tampa Bay, who's doing actually pretty well. So,
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's
yeah.
actually ridiculous.
But I asked you why. I asked you if you like watching baseball because I know a lot of people. They say it's boring, and I actually, as a baseball fan, I actually agree with them that baseball is becoming more boring, and I think it's because of the rise of they call it the three outcomes of baseball. It's everything's either a strikeout, a home run, or a walk, and you don't see any action. Like it's just
Yeah,
base to base, home run. Like there's no like situational baseball, bunt the guy over, steal a base. Like that's what's exciting about baseball to me. But I think that's why the rise in strikeouts is just ridiculous. I think we've already
yeah,
broken records um, this year in strikeouts, and we just had the most home runs hit in a
yeah.
month.
I was gonna say
Yeah, actually, Vladdy I think broke the record. He was the one that hit the home run. But
when when you see the best play in baseball become like boring, when a
yeah,
home run becomes boring, like you're in trouble. Like
yeah,
I,
it's because everyone's swinging for the fences, right? They're not
exactly.
worrying about even when they get to two strikes, they're not choking up on the bat. They're not trying to just work a single to the opposite field. They're all swinging for the fences, and I think we've lost the art of playing baseball.
Has anyone seen Moneyball before? Like, come on, get on base. How hard is it? The math
But you
is
know how that movie ends. They don't win.
that's true. You still need the big guns, but I still think there's lots to it. You gotta getting on base wins, and it's showed over and over.
Yeah. We're just about to wrap up here, but first, let's get into some football. We all love football, right?
Yes,
All
love
right.
me some football. I already
And
made a Wentz comparison.
yeah, you did. You already dropped it, so why don't you take it over? We saw Wentz
Yeah.
get a
So
major deal here.
yeah, what do you think of Wentz's? I think it's 127 million, 107 guaranteed.
Yeah.
His rookie contract still has 2 years left. I guess not anymore, but what do you think of that signing? What it means to the rest of the division and to the league?
Yeah, like 4 for 128. Like I can't even get my mind wrapped around that. Um, Especially again, you mentioned it before, a guy that's hurt and has injury history, giving him $32 million a year, like just ridiculous. But what I think it does is that it's actually a smart move on Philadelphia's part. Like that's where I'm coming from it because
Okay.
it forces the Cowboys in their own division. They've got their own quarterback situation going on, which who Dak Dak Prescott, who's been playing really well for them, won them some games. Um, but I think it's going to force their hand to have to maybe overpay for a guy
Yeah.
like Dak Prescott. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it could be the case. I think um I don't know if it forces their hand. I think maybe Dak
Well,
Prescott's camp will want that kind of money.
well, you look at their number. Like you look at their win percentage. Dak has won more games.
Yeah.
Completion percentage. Dak is up 2%. Touchdowns to interceptions. Pretty even there. Dak is 17 rushing touchdowns as well. Like,
Yeah, that's his
um,
big stat. What's his completion percentage though past a 10-yard throw? Um,
I,
that's where you see like Carson Wentz, he's a gunslinger. Okay? Like
yeah. Oh, I don't doubt that Carson Wentz is way more talented, but I'm just saying
whoa,
if
whoa,
if
whoa.
you're if
Way more
what
talented.
yeah,
Whoa.
there's
That
there's a
he
reason why
can't run
Wentz
like
was
Dak.
taken. There was a reason why Wentz was taken in the first round and Dak was not.
Well, yeah, that was a sleeper pick. Well, Tom Brady was taken in the 6th round, so
Okay, don't bring up Tom Brady. We're talking about Dak and Carson
Dak
Wentz.
was a steal in the 4th. Okay, I'm just saying you can't underrate Dak's leadership and or rushing ability. Okay, but yes, I think Carson Wentz has a better arm
Yeah, the
going
last
forward.
time we saw Carson Wentz healthy, he was on track to be the MVP.
Yeah. So you'll argue about Kawhi being brittle, but you're okay with Carson Wentz being brittle and paying him?
Yeah, you got a problem with that?
Yeah, I do, because I hate the Philadelphia Eagles, and um, I think maybe what it does to the league, like, okay, so if Carson Wentz is worth 128, you said, what is what are the Chiefs gonna have to pay Patrick Mahomes?
Like
Like
a billion.
200? Yeah, right. Like it's I
Mahomes
can't.
play
Yeah, go ahead.
like out of this world. Like I was
Yeah,
looking at again. I was just looking at stats this morning and like 66% completions, 50
ridiculous.
touchdowns,
Yeah,
over 5,000 yards.
ridiculous.
Just like honestly, and reports are coming out. They might have to pay him $200 million.
Yeah, he's worth it. He's worth it.
Worth
So
it.
it it might be a steal if Wentz is healthy. It might be a steal if Wentz is healthy because they could be underpaying him if he turns out
Right.
to be as good as we hope he is. No, well, I don't hope, but as they hope.
Yeah.
But I don't think it forces the Cowboys' hand to do anything. I think the Cowboys are trying to be like the Patriots a little bit and not overpay for anyone. Um, because I think that's the model that builds lasting success. So
Right.
I hope we pay him 100 million, but nothing more.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I think Dax played really good, especially since they got Amari Cooper after that trade. He was really good. He finally had a weapon on the outside to go to.
Big time.
Um, but
And
yeah,
bringing back our Jason Witten, all right?
yeah,
Our
yeah. He
our
needed to get
safety
out of the
net.
booth. He needed to
Yeah,
get out of the
yeah,
booth. He was hurting in there.
definitely need
So
definitely need help. He saw how
yeah.
Tony Romo was doing and he thought he
Oh,
could do the same. But
I love Tony Romo.
Tony Romo's
Um,
unreal.
one other topic I wanted to. I think we're on the same page with this. Is talking about the Browns.
Yeah.
A lot of people have just sort of gone on and crowned them as as AFC North champions, and I just wanted to get
Cleveland
your
is back. Come on.
yeah yeah I must have missed it when LeBron joined their team, but
Yeah.
but
Oh my
what's
goodness.
your thoughts on the Browns for this year?
Oh, I think it's way overhyped. Like they have a bunch of guys that haven't done anything yet. Um, they're not going to get Kareem Hunt back for I don't know how long, but he's going to be out for a little while. Um, Baker Mayfield's a good young piece. And I'm not trying to knock OBJ. OBJ, he's great. But if you're going to talk about brittle, there's a guy. Okay, he's the man. He can barely. He hasn't played a full season. I think because OBJ is so much different. That's why there's so much hype around them.
Yeah,
OBJ is like a global, like he's known globally. Like
yeah, yeah,
if Tom Brady walked through Europe no one would even know. He just looks like a regular guy. But if OBJ walked through Europe, he's being, the crowds are coming to him.
Right.
I think the hype is over. Way too much hype. They haven't proven anything. Who knows when Kareem Hunt is back? They have the makings to do well, but I don't know. I think I'm not buying in yet till they prove it. Wait till they prove it. Just like
Yeah.
Kevin Durant hasn't proved it on his own.
Yeah. I'm just not a believer in Baker Mayfield. If you gave me the option, I'd take Sam Darnold. Even though
Hot
he did
take.
well, he did. Don't look at stats on the like. I talk a lot about stats, but don't take stats on this one because
Okay.
look at the team, the surrounding. Like you
That's
give
trash.
you give Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, and
Jarvis Landry had a horrible year.
and Njoku um, but I think I'd rather have Sam Darnold and you talk about OBJ and I think he's way overrated just as a value guy. I think he's super talented guy, but I was looking this morning at his 20 biggest receiving games. Like he's had pretty big games in his career, but in his 20 biggest receiving games, 13 of those are losses.
Wow.
So we talk about these and the big one-handed catches and stuff like that, but does it help your team win? And I really don't think it does.
Yeah, I think I totally agree. He's good. I think Baker Mayfield's life will be easier, especially when Kareem Hunt's back. Although like Chubb is pretty good too,
Yeah.
but
Like
they'll be good.
Vegas, the Vegas odds has the Browns as the winners of the AFC North
And the
right now.
best offense. Yeah, they have the
Yeah.
best rated offense. That's
And
ridiculous.
I think we're discounting, even though the Steelers have lost Le'Veon and Antonio Brown, I think they still have a great offense.
Juju.
Juju and what's his name, the running back that broke
Uh,
out last year.
yeah. Oh, it's gonna bug me.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll remember it.
who I'm talking. You know who I'm talking about. You obviously didn't win your fantasy league last year.
I did okay.
Okay.
James
I
Conner.
came James Conner.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I think they're going to be good, and Baltimore too. I think Baltimore is going to be good. Their
With
defense is
Lamar,
always. Oh, I believe in Lamar Jackson.
you're a Lamar Jackson guy, eh?
Yeah, I love running quarterbacks. That's.
What about those Bengals?
I'm sorry. Can't even watch.
Just horrible.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
believe the Browns they're going to be their highest rated offense. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, they're going to be better than the Chiefs. They're going to be better than the Rams. They're going to be better than the Saints, the Patriots, the Cowboys.
Yeah, we'll
I
see
don't
how
think
it
so.
works out. Like they look good on paper. They've got a lot of good weapons and they've got a good O line.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how it works out.
Okay, so Super Bowl winner this year. Go.
Super Bowl winner this year. Wow. Oh, that's a tough one. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Saints.
The
I
Saints.
think the Saints come back after that heartbreaking loss in the.
Okay, no, that's fair.
Yeah, I think they go for it.
Uh-oh.
If you say the Patriots,
I'm going with. Oh no, I hate the Patriots. I think the Patriots are going to make the Super Bowl, and they're going to play the Dallas Cowboys, and the Dallas Cowboys, the division that the only
This
division
is
that can
such
beat
wishful
the Patriots.
thinking.
That the only team that can beat the Patriots, the only division that can beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl is our division, and this year is going to be Dallas Cowboys' turn to take one away from Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Mark it. Write it down. Write it down.
I'll write it down. I think you're dreaming a little bit there. I didn't know we were talking about teams we wanted to win.
No,
I was going with who we thought was going to win.
They are good in every spot this year. I'm telling you,
Oh,
there's no weakness in their offense or defense this year.
all
You'll see.
right. I think we're gonna have to sign off now. That's it for us. Thanks for listening today. We'd actually like to end our show by giving out a shout out to Pastor Craig Rochelle at Life Church. We'd like to invite him onto the show to talk about sports next time. And if you enjoyed the show, or if you didn't, please follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Give us a like and share your comments on Facebook. Make sure you subscribe anywhere you get your podcast. And remember, we're not experts, but we are the Sports Reverends.